So, of course, season 5 is now in the bag. We've completed 5 seasons so far, and of course, we keep up the lovely tradition of winning at least one trophy and a proper trophy in every season so far. Sorry, of course, that is the FA Cup this year. It's not the one we all want. It's not the Champions League, but hopefully, give it a couple of seasons and we can get there. We've struggled to even reach the final so far, so hopefully our luck changes pretty soon. Of course, welcome back to Academy to Anfield. This is episode 48. We're closing in on that big number 50 in a couple of episodes' time. But this episode, we're going to take just a quick look at the season, the review of the season. Then we're going to look more in depth at player development. So, of course, first thing to always tell you is no transfers in. Transfers out, though. It looks like our big players, even Calvin Ramsey there, have had a pretty good season. Darwin Núñez scoring 22 goals for Valencia. And he's finally found his shooting boots. That's one thing to say. Obviously didn't find them for us. Curtis Jones there has had a great season for Atletico Madrid, who, I don't know if I've touched upon this before, ironically, managed by Jurgen Klopp, who was out of a job when we come in. So, yeah, it's quite ironic to see Curtis Jones there linking up with Jurgen Klopp at Atletico Madrid. A little bit gutted still that he didn't stick around, but, you know, the past is the past, as they say. Of course, Premier League, we did finish second, 5 points behind Arsenal. Probably the ones that did let us down with Nottingham Forest there. We lost 2-1 away from home. You can also see we lost 2-1 away at West Ham. That probably shouldn't have happened either. Of course, we lost to Arsenal. But apart from that, you can see we went on this absolutely fantastic run from the 4th of December by the looks of it and did not lose a game until we played Man City there. So in another season, we probably would have won the league, but just so happens that Arsenal, you know, they were just too good. But at least we took a little bit of shine off their season. We won the FA Cup. We did beat them on penalties in the last episode, of course. And it just takes a little bit of shine off of them. And the Chelsea beat us in the Community Shield. Man United beat us in the Carabao Cup. And Man City beat us in the Champions League. So it kind of sucks, really, to see that we didn't actually lose the Champions League. We didn't go out to a European side. We've lost to a British side in all of our competitions, which kind of sucks. But hopefully that changes this season, of course. Not a lot to really shout about. Match to remember, 2-1 win away to Everton. Biggest win, that was kind of way back at the beginning of the season when Jason Stone was scoring loads of goals. We absolutely battered Dortmund 5-1. And then, of course, the only thing to really mention about this is nice to see Mark King getting his shirt in the top 5 of shirt sales. Mo Salah still number 1 there. But nice to see Mark King coming in at number 41. We might have to change his number this year. Maybe. We might have to look at squad numbers. Best 11 for the year. Of course, good to see Tornian in there making an appearance at left wing. He'll probably be, if he can keep fit, a mainstay there as the season goes on. Nice to see Pennington there as one of the starting centre-backs alongside Bajcetic, which didn't play there too often, but still, it is what it is. And of course, apart from that, there's not a lot really to shout about. I'd imagine Young Player of the Year is Carter Pennington. I would have thought perhaps that would have been Tornianen, but Salah with African Footballer of the Year. English, PFA Young Player of the Year, essentially, isn't it? It's Carter Pennington. And then the Next Gen Award went to Jason Stone. So that's kind of our season in a nutshell. Let me know how you guys think we did. I think it was a huge success considering the season we had before when we did finish. Let's just take a quick look. What was that? 87 points this year. Last year we finished on 69, so a huge increase there in points. We didn't win the league, but the performances were a lot better. So that is that with the season review. Of course, Alexis McAllister is leaving on the 1st of July to go to Nice. We don't really care about that, no offence. But of course, I'll play through the summer. I'll come back if there's anything important to tell you. And of course, we'll look at the player development at the end of this episode. So we're back at the end of the summer, kind of the end of the summer anyway, ready for pre-season. Of course, there's not actually that much to tell you in terms of transfers out. However, two things really. Firstly, a nice little bit of news. We've got Salah's testimonial against Basel there. And then we've also got a Gomez testimonial against Porto to play this year. So that could be exciting. I won't show you them, of course. They're just friendlies, but it's always nice mentioning, isn't it? And then, of course, we've got Arsenal again we play Arsenal like 5 times a season, it feels like. We've got them in the Community Shield, and then we've got Nottingham Forest to start the season off. So that's kind of the fixture rundown. I would like to show you that. I don't know if we'll see, if I can quickly run through. We keep getting huge speculation that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be the subject of a bid from Saudi Arabia. So I'm hoping he's not going to want to go. But of course, if we look, he's wanted there by none other than 4 Saudi Arabian teams. I don't want him to leave at all. He's a huge, important part of this team, especially now he's playing in the defensive midfield position. You can see there just how many assists he's got, generally from that DM position. And pretty much, well, his best season so far. So we don't want to lose Trent at all. Another thing to quickly show you guys is obviously the European Championships is going on. And we have got a big contingent in the England squad. Mark King there is a substitute. However, he has made 1 appearance, 1 goal and an assist in that 1 appearance. So he is looking pretty good. We'll touch upon it in a minute when we go through player development. But of course, that is kind of the only thing to show you guys. If there's anything else, obviously we've got loads of contracts to sort out, so I'm not going to bore you with them. But if we've got anything else later on in the summer, what we'll do is we'll end this video on this date, and then that will kind of be all packed into the beginning of the season for the next video. So, of course, that leaves us, well, all that leaves us with is to look at the squad and look at players who are developing, leaving, etc. So here we go. So, of course, first and foremost, we've got the goalkeeper situation. We've got Kelleher wanted there by Brighton. I'm a little bit dubious to let him go because he's still classed as a homegrown player. As we can see, he's been at Liverpool for God knows how long, 2014, so a good 14 years in this save now. Alisson is 35 now, so I can't imagine he's got many years left. We have still got him. I mean, we've got him on another 2 years for a contract, so that's good. But obviously Bailey Carrot there lost a lot of his potential ability by the looks of things already. However, it will be nice to maybe get him some football this year out on loan or keep him as a backup. I'm not entirely sure yet. We will look at that as the summer kind of progresses in July. Connor Bradley, mainstay of the team now. Here, I won't be showing you his development. Of course, he's 24. He's fully developed. I will quickly show you, though, that the one thing we do like about Bradley is the fact that he's got amazing acceleration and pace. So kind of nice to see, and not even too bad crossing and dribbling there for a right back. So he's predominantly our right back now. As you can see, he's made quite a few appearances over the last few seasons because that releases Trent into midfield. So, of course, going down the list, Quansah, we will be looking to sell him this year. He was on loan last year with an option to sell or an option to buy from Las Palmas there, but they didn't take the option up. So he's back. He will be sold. Konate, obviously, we're keeping him around for now. And then we've got Millward and Pennington. Now, Pennington is obviously a mainstay of the team. He's got that great aerial presence. Didn't score that many goals this year compared to the season before, but he's still turning in the performances, so he will be staying around. I don't know whether we will be... I'll quickly show you Millwall's development because I don't want to rush through these. But obviously, 19 appearances last season, 11 as a starter. But for his development, I mean, you can see it's kind of been up and down. But if we look at the last year, he's not really developed. Mentally, yes. Even physically, yes, apparently. But I don't feel like he's developed much. So looking as a championship player, we may try and loan him out this year. And I only say that because as well as Millward, we've got, let's just quickly divert from the senior side to find, we've got Hamill here, who, I mean, his potential is gone right down. So we'll probably look to loan Hamill out this year, or Hamill, sorry. He's 18, he definitely needs some game time. But we've also got, no one. No, I'm thinking of Alex Thompson there. Again, another one we'll probably try and loan out. So I think if we go back to the senior side and make our way down, of course, we look at Pennington's development. He's 21 now. He's probably got, although it says he's 4-star and he could improved significantly. I'm kind of thinking he's not got that much left in him. I could be wrong. If you look at his development over the last year, technically he's not developed really at all. Slight improvement in his physical and his mental. However, if we do look just at the progress, he's kind of just, balancing out really as a 2.5-star player now. He's, decent Premier League player. This probably is the last season for him to develop very, very well. We're giving him plenty of game time, so it's kind of just maybe down to personality, the right training, etc. So, of course, he's staying in and around the team because he just will. Owen Beck is someone we won't look to move on because we're kind of desperate for left backs. Of course, we've got Robbo, who is turning 34 and slowly on the decline. Of course, we've got Geordie Watmore here. So I'm not sure whether to loan him out or try and give him a bit more. He's only national Vanarama sort of quality. So I don't know. I think we might look at loaning him out because obviously we've got Owen Beck there as backup. And although not brilliant, he's a solid backup, shall we say. But that's kind of the one position I'm going to struggle with, I think, in this save, is we've got no left back to come in. Of course, Alexis McAllister is gone. Trent there is hopefully not gone, is all I can say there. I will maybe look at tying him down for another contract, considering he runs out in 2 years. I don't really want him to be too unsettled. Bajcetic there, again, meant to be playing the same position as Trent, but he has been pretty tidy as a centre-back, especially a ball-playing centre-back. So we might look to move Bajcetic there, as obviously, Gomez is getting older. Where's Konate? Konate's 29, probably coming into his peak. But I think Bajcetic will probably look to move him into centre defence for the foreseeable future because of Trent. However, we got good versatility there because Trent can play right back, Bajcetic can play DM, etc. So we've got good versatility there. Of course, Elliott, Gravenberch, players that aren't really developing anymore, they are the mainstay of the team. Parsley is a good one. We're going to talk about Parsley quickly. Of course, still 4.5-star potential, only 1.5 stars. For me, he's a good League Two player. However, he has just completed a season in the Championship for Portsmouth and not got a bad rating really, I suppose. But this year, anyway, forget all that. This year, he is back in the team. We're not going to be looking to loan him out, so we'll be changing that. He is going to be a good backup, and we're going to try and get him plenty of game time. If you look, he's only played 5, 10, 11 games for us. So this season, we're going to try and get him a lot of game time, really. If we look at the last 12 months out of Portsmouth, he has made strides, but you'd like to think back at Liverpool, playing with the players he is and the training and the coaches we've got, we could really develop him over the next couple of years, potentially. So, of course, that's something we're going to be looking at. And, of course, the one I've been probably most excited to tell you about, if we just come down the list here, we've got Mark King, who, if we look, is a 4-star current ability, 5-star potential player. We've just given him a new contract, hence why I think we've just given him a new contract, or I might need to. It's probably what I meant to say, but he's a good Premier League player, still could improve significantly. And I do just want to show you his progress this year, as you can see. Come on, leaps and bounds since August last year, when he was a 2.5-star player, now a 4-star player. So we'll just look at his attributes and think over the last 12 months, and you can just see he has made some huge strides, and they're all in the best possible, boxes, i.e. dribbling, first touch, long shots, penalty taking, not really, but technique there. So off the ball, positional, all the stuff, vision you want from your centre midfielder. So I'm really excited. He's only 19 years old. I want to tie him down to a huge contract, which we probably will do this summer. And already scored his first goal for England. So Mark King, it's just a shame about his leadership. It would have been lovely to have him as club captain. But nevertheless, exciting player to have. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's developing over the next year as well. Actually, before we move on, I do want to show you. It's always nice to see. If we just look all time from when he came through our youth rankings, just have a look at that. Look how much across the board he has improved. it is pretty incredible. So we do like Mark King, probably my favourite player so far, unfortunately overtaking Jason Stone. I've just noticed he's wanted, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. Of course, Mo Salah, of course, he's wanted by Saudi Arabia. I can't tell you if he's going to stay or if he's going to go this year. I'm not too sure yet. It's probably the honest question. If they put in a bid and it does unsettle him and it's a decent sort of value, I may have to consider taking it. But of course, we've got Ben Doak here, who's on a new contract. However, there is a promise in the contract that you can't see. I wonder if there's a way of showing you. Basically to say, if Mo Salah leaves the club, that he will be first choice attacking right midfielder kind of thing. I didn't put that in there. He put that in there as a promise, and it was locked in, so I couldn't take it out. And I didn't want to risk losing Ben Doak because he will be an important part of this team. So we've had to leave that in there. So that's kind of one piece of information just to try and remember in case Mo Salah does go. But of course, probably one of his better seasons, the one we've just had. Of course, it doesn't look like he's really come on at all. But I feel like it's been a good season. If you look over the last year, it's just not doing it developing wise for Ben Doak. Still only 2.5 stars. I can imagine he's a good Premier League player, though he is. Could improve a lot still. 22 years of age now. But if we just look, he has had a decent season. He's played 27 games. Okay, 10 of them as a starter, 17 as a sub. Maybe that's where the problems are lying. But 7 goals in 27 games, 2 man of the match performances. Maybe we can look at slowly putting Ben Doak as a main starter and gently, and I say gently, dropping Mo Salah to the bench and kind of making that transition, perhaps. But of course, the last few players now, just to quickly have a look at, we've got Szoboszlai, of course, 27 years old, in his prime. We're not getting rid of him, are we? Not for a while, unfortunately, because I know he goes against everything the homegrown save says, but eventually he'll go. Tornianen, they're wanted by Tottenham. He is not going anywhere. We'll be looking to offer him a long-term contract as well. Similar to Ben Doak, let's take a quick look. He's a good Premier League player. He's had a very good season for us. He's played 20 games as a starter, 6 as a sub, 26 in general, 7 goals, 5 assists. I'll be looking for him to really come on leaps and bounds. He can play all across the front three this year. So, of course, he's only on 27,500, so I'm sure it won't be long before he starts grumbling anyway about his contract situation. But if we look at the last 12 months, you can see, he has improved. Not by much, but he has improved. I would like to think, if we go back to 18 years old, another season, you can see he's definitely come on leaps and bounds in the last 2 seasons. He did have that season away in the Championship at Sunderland, which seems to have helped him big time because he come back and made a huge impact last season for us. So Tornianen, again, we're probably looking at a front three of Ben Doak, Tornianen and Stone as our starting front three. And then you're looking at the likes of Johnny Webb, Kumas and stuff to be around the team. But of course, Carvalho there, a good rotational player, a good player to come in. We won't look at his development, but I just want to show you, he obviously didn't play too many games last year, but he did score 2 goals and an assist. So he's handy to have, handy to come in if there's any big injuries. Luis Diaz, I can't tell you if I'm sure he'll be staying around at the end of the season or not. I think he wants to go. He's requested to leave, hasn't he? So he might be going. But again, Luis Diaz, although a pretty good player, he's 31 now. He's not really played much for us the last couple of seasons. 6 starts last year, 9 in total, 4 substitute appearances. So we probably won't miss him either, if I'm really honest. But of course, the last 3, we've got Johnny Webb, that I think this is his season to develop. If we need someone to develop, or need Johnny Webb to develop, it's going to be this season. Of course, last season, I think I need to take full responsibility. He didn't give him the game time he wanted or needed at all. 3 starts, 11 substitute appearances. We started sort of in the second half of the season. Things were just clicking and we were chasing down the top of the league, and I just didn't find time for him to get in the squad. So I'm going to make it one of the priorities to try and get him some game time this year, Johnny Webb. And of course, let's take a quick look at the last 2. We've got Lewis Kumas. Unfortunately, he's kind of declined, in my opinion. He played 16 games for us there. That was probably his best season, playing off the left wing and up front. Last year, we just, again, a bit like Johnny Webb, we couldn't find that position in our front three for him, unfortunately. Did chip in with a couple of goals and a couple of assists, but it'll still be a good one to keep in and around the team, which I think we're trying to do, of course. But if we look at the last 12 months, he's not developed at all as we'd like. He's now 22 years old. So his best days of development are behind him. But of course, with that pace and that acceleration and decent finishing and dribbling, he's just one to keep around. To come off the bench and make a difference. He could be that player this season and a few seasons ahead if we look forward. So, Jason Stone, I don't know who he's wanted by. Wolfsburg and AC Milan. Probably doesn't say too much about him because he's had a tale of 2 seasons in one, should we say. Started the season off absolutely amazing, Jason Stone. Played 34 games as a starter, 1 as a substitute in the Premier League. 35 in total, 10 goals, 5 assists. His best season, second best season, should we say. He was banging him in there as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, but second best season. He needs to kick on now, really. He really does. He's 20 years old. He's got 1 cap for England. And if we look at his developing, he's a perfectionist. So I'd like to think his development is still not done. Of course, slight improvement across the board. Most of the categories he's improved in. He's just not improved enough to take it to the next level, unfortunately. And that's kind of the story of Jason Stone, is always stuck at not getting to that next level. I'd like to say he probably scored 7 or 8 goals in the Premier League in the first 2 months. I wonder if we can quickly look at his form just to show you. Obviously, we've got goals there. He did score against Man City and he did score 1 against Brentford there in April. But since then, he didn't score. I mean, we can look back as far as February and he scored 2 goals since February. Or no, he didn't. Yeah, there we go. He scored 2 goals, since February. And it's just not good enough, is it? It's not good enough for a striker. However, he's 19 years old. We got to give the kid some slack. Hopefully he's 20 years old now, just turned 20. So he's got a couple of seasons left at least of developing. So hopefully he does. But in general, that is the first team squad. We're going to take a quick look at the under-21s. Of course, we've got Alpha Sasse, who is still out on loan. He's not really done it for Fleetwood in League One. So we'll probably look at loaning him out again. We're stacked at the top of the field with attacking players. So we'll probably look to loan him out. Loan out Andy Green and be loaning out Thompson. Andy Green, there was a bit of hope for him a few seasons ago. However, I don't know. I don't feel like he's got enough about him to really make it in this team. But of course, we've got Ronchi there. Again, 5-star potential. He's just come back from Peterborough on loan. Played a decent season in League One, So he'll obviously be going out again. Grant will probably stay in and around the youth team for another year before we probably loan him out or potentially bring him up to the first team. But 16 years old, he is probably our best chance for a decent centre-back. If you look at his physical attributes there for a 16-year-old centre-back, they're quite good. They are quite good. So yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully developing him. And hopefully this year coming, we get a better youth intake. I mean, the last 2 have been absolutely dire. So hopefully we're looking forward to a fresh intake of decent players. So of course, that is it, guys. That is the player development done. Let me know in the comments who you think, or who's your favourite player. Mine is Mark King, of course. His development has been absolutely perfect. So I'm looking forward to seeing how high you can reach over the next couple of seasons. But of course, that is it. We'll bring you back to start the season, probably against Arsenal in the Community Shield, or because we can. Do you know what, actually? Because we play the Community Shield every season, I think we're just going to miss that this year, get straight into the Premier League, and hopefully hit the ground running. So, of course, thanks for watching, and I will most definitely see you in the next video.